I'm sure everyone has gold, but how many of you actually invest in mutual funds? How many of you are SIP holders? Okay, we need to really strongly pitch to this section of the audience.
They also must be having it, but they were not raising their hand.
Okay. But, I was just going through some of the stats. The fact that the mutual fund industry started in 1964, but the parabolic move came with financialization of assets, post-demonetization, post-digital currency getting a fillip. In the last 5 years, Bala, what's been your experience on how India has actually accepted mutual fund? And you were at the helm of the mutual fund Sahi Hai concept, which is now a narrative across homes in India.
Yeah. So I think some of our attempt, there was a period where we were worried about, not worried, but we were still wondering how mutual fund become as part and parcel of the everyone's investment radar. Forget about investing. It should come in the investment radar. It should be part of the consideration. The way we coined mutual fund Sahi Hai, which is in the year 2016, when I was the chairman of AMFI, we said this has to become part of the conversation in everyone's coffee table. If you are sitting in the family, it must be part of your discussion. If you are having a chai with somebody in the marketplace, it must be part of the discussion. Therefore, it was intended to actually create that kind of concept. And we never imagined this will become so large. And second is the bigger trend came, which is the demand. Which is the moment demand came, then naturally you start thinking about what are the investment options that you have in front of you other than holding in cash. So you start debating about cash is still supposed to be investment for a variety of other reasons. So how do you move from cash actually to the other financial saving? Therefore, the mutual fund caught up during the period. But now in the last 4 or 5 years, those who have done SIPs, I think they are about seeing the experience. And they are seeing the experience in terms of the investment return better than any other investment that they have done. Therefore, now it's become a way of investing. And now SIP become a way of investing, which is a new trend that has definitely has come in. And other reason is India generally is considered as a country which is a high interest rate regime. So we used to live, personally have seen, being part of the MF industries, we have seen interest rate being at 28%, is as low as about 4.5%, now is back to about 6.5%. I think consistent is the last 5-6 years, whether it is a monetary policy authority, the Reserve Bank of India, or even under the Parliament Act, setting a target that should be the inflation target that we should have. All these things have led to a prolonged period of low interest rate regime. If the interest rate regime, it remains a prolonged period actually low interest rate, single digit, is the middle of single digit, then naturally you start looking at alternates. That is where I think mutual fund position themselves very nicely in the last 4 or 5 years period. And again, of course, corporate earnings has been the biggest supporter when the market does well. Therefore, it is a good problem to have. And now you have seen in terms of SIPs coming in, it is a new trend that has come. I think even HNI investors who are predominantly willing to take a call on the market, even they themselves have now realized it's not worth taking a call as long as it's going to remain invested in the market for long. Better to take the route of SIP. This has now become, whenever I travel overseas, one obvious question is to come from foreign institutional investors, when will this SIP stop? And the question is to come from a level of 8,000 crores per month. Today is now come to 29,000 crores. The second, I think the trend that you are also seeing is the bank deposits versus the mutual fund size. In US is almost about mutual fund size actually as big as the banking industry size in US. Whereas India, we used to be about 14%. Today it's gone about 35%. Now the predictions are coming, it will become about 50% of the bank industry size, the mutual fund industry size. So this is something which I think, one, formalization economy, definitely I think has improved the confidence. Second, as you rightly mentioned, democratizing investing and taking it to the every nook and corner of the country is now become a second trend change that I'm saying. And third is, of course, the TINA factor. I mean, there is no alternate to other asset classes. Also is benefiting mutual fund industry to get more and more flows. And lastly, of course, because of the power of money coming in, Indian market behavior is far superior to the rest of the global market because the volatility has been the least. The lesser the volatility, higher the predictability, then naturally your ability to put more money in the market also increases, the confidence increases. I think we are in that path, I would say.
Yeah.
In fact, I must also mention there was a worried statement which came from one of the Mercedes, the CEO of the factory.
Yes, of course. Santosh Nair.
And then he said people are not buying Mercedes because most of the people are shifting their investments to the SIPs. And then we took this as an opportunity and then said more the people do SIP, They'll have
The more
money
they
to
can
invest.
afford money.
You must go and market it. The more you do SIPs, therefore instead of buying one Mercedes car, you can buy multiple Mercedes cars. So actually it turned out to be a good marketing slogan for all of us. Indirect visibility also we got around a period of time.
You should tie up with Mercedes actually.
In fact, I met the gentleman very recently in Pune, and we both of us were discussing on this. The very same day when he did the statement, I did call up and have a word with him saying, why did you make this statement?
Then what did he say?
Then he said, Bala, I just casually made this statement with no specific intention of hitting you guys, but it turned out to be so good for you and us, and both of us grown in life. SAPs have grown on one side, even Mercedes car sales also in India has gone up like crazy.
So on that note,